Welcome back to Ride the Six, everybody. In light of recent events, crashing my Yamaha FZ6R again, we will be working on the parts bike today. There's no videos out there right now at the time of filming this video on how to do a fork rebuild on the Yamaha FZ6R specifically. So I do need some forks to put on my bike. So what we're going to do, we're going to strip the front end down on this bike. We're going to take the wheel off. We're going to take the forks off, and we're going to do a rebuild on the forks. Even if I don't use them on that bike, I want to do it on this bike anyway because it's a salvage bike, and I can see there's some seepage and some leaking on the left side forks. So it's a great video for you guys to learn, and it's a video that I was actually going to do anyways. You know, just kind of happened that I need a set of forks and I want to rebuild these if I'm going to use them. So stay tuned, guys. We're going to get the bike stripped down and we're going to get the forks disassembled, and we'll go from there. Alright, so the first step to getting at your forks, guys, you need to get your brake calipers off, your wheel off. So we're going to start with the two little bolts just holding the brake lines here. It's an 8mm socket. Pretty quick and easy. You might have to just hold the back of the bolt because there is a nut on the back. It's easier just to spin the nut off, and she's off. So we'll just thread that back in there for now. I'll put the nuts on the back side. We'll just kind of piece it back together so we know where things go. Alright, so next are the two bolts holding the caliper. These are 12mm bolts. The stand's a little bit in the way, the front stand that I actually have. It's not too bad, but you can get around it. Okay, there's one of the bolts. Okay, both caliper bolts are out. We're just going to slide this off the wheel for now. I think hanging it off this bracket over here on the bike would work. It's just one of the fairing mounting spots. Okay, so there we go. So you can see I just have the caliper, I just have it mounted up there on this little mounting tab for the fairings. With your calipers off, guys, do not squeeze your front brake. You'll send these pistons out so far and it'll be really hard to get them back in. And you could actually blow them right out of the brake caliper. So do not put your front brake on at all. Okay, let's go around to the other side of the bike. So we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to loosen off this brake line holder. Get that out of the way first. We'll put all the bolts there on it. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to undo the two brake bolt calipers. Again, 12mm sockets. I always undo the bottom bolt first. Okay, now let's undo the top bolt. Okay, there we go. Slide the brake caliper out. So our brake calipers are lifted up. Both sides calipers are loose. Wheel is essentially freely rotating. Now we got to get the wheel off. So there's two things. We have our basically your axle bolt here, and then you have just like a pinch bolt here that keeps the axle from turning around or anything. So this is a 6mm Allen key or hex T-handle. Okay, that came off pretty easy, guys, not very tight. So we're just going to loosen that off. The next one might be a little trickier. This guy here is a 19mm socket. This one could be a little tricky. Actually came off pretty easy, guys. Just gonna give a little tap from the other side of the bike. There's your axle bolt, your wheel spacer, and the wheel. Another wheel spacer. So there we go, guys. Front wheel is off. And we now have full access to the motorcycle forks. Guys, we're going to remove the bars too. I'll explain why in a minute. You do not need to do this to take the forks off, but maybe when I explain why I'm doing this, you'll understand. So I've already loosened the bolts. I'm just going to take these off. I've marked the bars too. Like I've marked the bars where they align with the brackets here, so I can get the bars back in the same spot again. This is the parts bike or possibly a track bike. I don't even know what I'm doing with this bike yet. So right now it's being pillaged for some parts. Okay, so we're going to take those off. And we're just going to lift our bars out of the way. And we're just going to, I might just set them forward here somehow, or get a tie wrap, and I'll probably tie wrap it to the stay bracket again like I did last time. Let me see what I can find here. Yep, so there we go. I'm just going to grab a wrap. Good old-fashioned black tie wraps. We'll just try to get the bars out of the way and secure. And we'll grab one on this side as well, quick. Trust me, it will all make sense. There's always a method to the madness. And I do things in a certain order for a certain reason. I don't really do things twice, except maybe crash the motorcycle. But anyways, we won't go there just yet. Okay guys, so there we go. We have the bars kind of suspended and out of the way, so all your cables are safe. So now this is the reason why I decided to take the bars off first. I have been doing a little bit of reading, and we're actually going to loosen off these fork caps. Trust me, it's going to be a lot easier right now to loosen off these fork caps now with everything still bolted in place than it will be trying to hold it in your hand and try to torque it off with the other hand. So this is a 22mm socket. It shouldn't be on very tight. Nope, it actually came loose pretty good, pretty easy. So we're going to loosen this one off too, guys. Again, we don't have to take it off the whole way. It's just so that you can get these apart after you get the forks off the bike. I really don't know how far to loosen them off. I think just enough so that you don't have to try to break them free while holding the fork in one hand and trying to untorque this thing in the other hand. So that should be good. I don't want to pull it out too much. I am starting to see the little rubber gasket O-ring seal underneath the fork cap. So we're gonna leave it right there. Let's get this fork out. Okay, guys, we're gonna loosen the top pinch bolt on the triple trees. These are in fairly tight. By the manual, it says to loosen the top bolt first, and then the fork cap, and then the bottom bolt. To be honest, it really doesn't matter which one of these two you do first. The bottom bolt I understand, because as soon as you drop that, your forks are going to essentially fall from the bike. Okay, so that guy's loose. This one is a little bigger. So this top bolt was a 6mm again. The bottom one is larger. Okay, guys, brace yourself for the second bolt. This is an 8mm bolt. You can see it's on pretty tight. But I am supporting the fork with my knee because there's a good chance once this bolt comes loose, it's just going to drop, and you do not want it to smash on the floor. This bolt's in a really strange spot, guys. Like, it might be easier to remove the stay bracket and the headlight. Okay, so now with these pinch bolts loose, let's see if we can work our fork loose. Okay, there we go. Just going to twist it. Twist it out of the housing. Twist it out of the triple trees. Okay. So we're clear from the top triple tree. We're going to keep just working it down. I can't really loosen the bolt off anymore. It's pretty loose. Maybe it would have helped to grease it a little bit, but I don't know if that would have made it any easier or not. Okay, guys, there we go. So there's the one side out, and we've already loosened this off, so draining the oil and stuff shouldn't be too bad. We're on the left side here. I had to take off my headlight bracket and whatnot, just because I have my tools here. They're not little small Allen keys. They're man tools, and they need a little bit more space to get in. I have not loosened the top on this one yet, so I'm going to try to loosen the bottom one first. Just want to see if there's any difference. The other side we did top first, bottom last. This time we're going to do it the other way around. It's probably really not going to make a difference. So again, I'm just going to hold onto this fork with my foot. Okay, so bottom is loose. Top is being loosened here now. Okay, there we go. Going to come around to the front here, and we're going to try to pull the shock out. There is a little bit of rust and corrosion on these shocks on this bike. Like I say, it wasn't mine. It was an auction bike. Just pull her down through the triple trees. And there we go, guys. So here's this is our left fork. This is the one that I noticed was weeping, so it kind of had to be rebuilt anyways. Alright guys, we're going to end the video there for today. Thanks for tuning in. I gotta say, the bike looks pretty crazy. Like from the front it looks like it's a bike out of Star Wars or like an Imperial Walker. Like it's got some weird strange look to it. I have never had the FZ6R stripped down this much before, so we are into new territory here with the forks and all that stuff. Anyways, stay tuned for the next video. We will be working on the forks and definitely doing a fork seal replacement. As far as tearing the forks completely down, I'm not sure if we're going to go that far, guys. But like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Ride safe. See you on the next one.